Good evening, people. Watch Woman 65. Lisa Boyce here. I'm coming up with this. Barry had talked about this earlier, but I'm looking at several headlines now, and I'm looking at this first American has died of exposure to coronavirus in Wuhan, China, one day after the death of original whistleblower was covered up. This is on Now the End Begins, and it's saying here that the American was 60 years old, died Thursday in Wuhan hospital. A spokesman for the U.S. Embassy said in Beijing Saturday. Chinese authorities said that fatalities in China from the coronavirus reached a single day of 86 on Friday. These numbers, that's why I don't like the numbers. The numbers are not adding up at all. Now they're saying that the coronavirus reached a single day high of 86 on Friday, raising the national death toll to 722. I tend to agree with Barry. The China government lies a lot. They're corrupt, okay? So, of course, they're going to fudge these numbers. They said they confirmed 3,399 new cases of infections from the virus that causes respiratory illness, bringing the total to 34,546. Now, they just quarantined 400 million people. And I have the article for that too. So, the numbers don't add up at all. The vast majority of coronavirus deaths and infections occurred in Wuhan and surrounding Hubei province, a region of nearly 60 million residents that has been locked down. So basically, they're locking these people down in their homes. For what? I'm going to link this article in the description box. But I want you to I want to keep reading this because this is going to be shocking to a lot of people. Now, he says here, and this is, like I said, this is now Jeffrey Grider of Now the End Begins. We all remember the Ebola virus scare back during the Obama years, a fitting metaphor for his presidency, and how that outbreak never really amounted to much of anything on a global scale, which is true, it didn't. But the Wuhan coronavirus, even if it were to be contained, has already sickened more people than Ebola ever did. Regardless of its original source, the Wuhan coronavirus is something that people in all nations need to be on the lookout for and taken very seriously. Now, I'm going to read a verse of scripture here. This is out of the book of Amos 4:10. It says, "I have sent among you the pestilence after the manner of Egypt. Your young men have I slain with the sword, and have taken away your horses, and I have made the stink of your camps to come up into your nostrils. Yet, have ye not returned unto me, saith the Lord." Now the End Begins sources in China. Now listen to this. They have said that the Chinese government is sending teams to houses of people known to be infected with the coronavirus and sealing them in their homes, effectively sealing in their doom and leaving them to die. That's what I was talking about. So basically, they're sealing in these people, sealing in their homes, because there is no food. I mean, you run out of water. I'm sure there's no water supply. If they're quarantining the whole city, there's nothing to do but die. They're sealing in the doors on these people's homes and sealing them into their death. They're boarding up the windows so they can't get out. Let that sink in for a minute. That's what they're doing. That is the true state of what is happening right now. Okay? Chi is nowhere to be found. Keep that in mind. China has also become under fire for attempting to cover up the fact that the original coronavirus whistleblower died of the disease. Beijing has also begun rounding up some sufferers and sending them to prisons as the new death toll hits 724. All this is happening at the same time that Chinese leader Xi has proclaimed himself to be a god. But that's a funny thing because he's hiding now. And yet he demands his people to worship him. This is not a coincidence. Not at all. This is not a coincidence at all. So, I'm going to leave this in the description box. They said that the official cause of death with the person was viral pneumonia. I've had pneumonia 3 times now. So, and the thing about this disease, they want to quarantine everybody. What if the person has the flu? Because the symptoms are somewhat similar. I worked in the medical field. I was a certified phlebotomist, a blood drawer. The cases are almost similar to the flu. So basically, you don't know. Nobody knows what this is. They're just quarantining people, and they could have a simple cold or a flu. It's sad. It's really sad. They're literally sealing these people in to their death. Let me see. The Chinese public has staged what amounts to be an online revolt after the death of Dr. Li, who tried to warn of the mysterious virus that has killed hundreds of people in China, affected tens of thousands, and forced the government to corral many of the country's 1.4 billion people. This is getting worse by the hour. So again, I'm going to link this article in the description box. In the meantime, if anything else comes up... Oh, I want to tell you about the earthquakes. The earthquakes are out of control. There was an earthquake today in New Zealand, a 5.2 in New Zealand. There was I gotta find this one in Sandwich Islands. Yeah, there was a 4.8 in Sandwich Islands, but earlier, before that, in Sandwich Islands, Yeah, it was a 6.1. Puerto Rico had a 3.5. Papua New Guinea had a 5.3. And see, when I set this earthquake thing up, I got it set from magnitude of 1 and above. So, because all the little earthquakes, they count. Even though they're not big and people might not feel them, but they count. We got... Okay, this just came in from Fox News. Okay. Multiple U.S. casualties in Afghanistan after attack during military mission. Official says there were multiple American casualties after U.S. and Afghan troops were fired on during a mission in Afghanistan's eastern Nangarhar province on Saturday. 2 U.S. officials confirmed to Fox News. Military personnel were fired upon while carrying out the operation, but the number of deaths and the severity of any injuries have yet to be confirmed. So that's going on now too. Anything else comes in, I'll keep you informed about this. Just pray and keep looking up. I'll keep you informed about this. Thank you.